The USC students mirroring much of the USC fan base, ready to start the 2015 season. Pac-12 football presented by Bank of the West, and the Trojans open at the Coliseum tonight against the Red Wolves of Arkansas State. And welcome to us. It's our first Saturday Pac-12 After Dark. Glenn Parker, Ted Robinson, Joel Savage will be with us on the sideline. And you get the feeling, Glenn, being around USC a couple of days here, they feel free about the football program. Sanctions are over, and then there's enough talent, enough lead talent in place that they think this can be a special year.
Yeah, the fans certainly have expectations. There's a ton of talent on this team, offensively and defensively, but it all starts with Cody Kessler. That's the guy that makes everything run. Great arm, he's efficient, he's accurate, but he's much more than that. Take a look at his eyes right here. He's manipulating a safety with his eyes. He's trying to open up the middle of the field with that backside stick nod route. This is really next level stuff for a quarterback. He does it flawlessly. And then there's the just being smart enough to know where you need a guy for an audible. He's looking over, he's calling in Juju Smith-Schuster right now, saying, hey, get in here. We have a good combo route called on this audible. And what it does, puts pressure on that corner, gets his hips out. Now that little sprint away comes wide open to Juju Smith-Schuster. He delivers it. That guy's talent, he's next level. Optimism is high around here.
All right, Arkansas State brings a high-tempo offense, dual-threat quarterback, spread the field. A lot of stuff tonight that makes you think Sua Cravens could be the perfect defender, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sua Cravens is a really good combination of power and speed. He's the type of guy that's going to fit against every offense they're going to see in the Pac-12. Now, you talk about a guy that he can play safety for you, and he can come up and stop the run, but he can play middle backer, outside backer, he can be a rush end. He can do just about everything you ask him to do. He's perfect on an island against this type of offense.
Well, they are ready, and the Coliseum is almost filled for the debut of the 2015 Trojans. We'll return to the Coliseum with kickoff of Saturday night Pac-12 football. USC has won the coin toss and chosen to receive the opening kick, and that means, Jill Savage, we're going to get to see their explosive weapon right away.
He is so special for this team. We're talking about Adoree Jackson. He was a three-way player for the Trojans last season in 8 games as a wide receiver, cornerback, and of course, those kick and punt returns. Now, Steve Sarkisian said of Adoree, he reminds him of the Energizer Bunny. He never runs out of energy. Defensive coordinator Justin Wilcox told us yesterday in practice that the only corner that is good enough to cover Adoree is Adoree. And how about this? Our own Ronnie Lott was saying, how good is Adoree Jackson? Well, he reminds him of Charles Woodson, he says. Now, Ted, if I'm not mistaken, that comes with some pretty good hardware.
Yes, it does. A big trophy attached to that. Of course, Steve Sarkisian talked about this on Pac-12 Network in the preview show about a big decision. How many snaps are right? How many snaps are enough for Jackson if he's going to play offense? How many snaps on defense? And, of course, running kicks back as well. Sarkisian has weathered a strong personal upheaval the last few weeks, as has been well documented. He is undergoing counseling as directed by Athletic Director Pat Hayden. Has fully apologized and for his actions, and there is really no new advance beyond that. Arkansas State is coached by Blake Anderson, which is a story in and of itself, given the recent one and done, which is supposed to be the domain of college basketball. Well, Arkansas State football has lived through their own one and done, but their coach Blake Anderson, who took them to a bowl game last year, they went 7-5 in the regular season, lost their bowl game, and they do get Blake Anderson back for his second season. They play in the Sun Belt Conference. And there's Jackson awaiting the kick from Luke Ferguson. And the 2015 USC football season underway. Jackson from the goal line. Well, the long jumper tried to mix in a hurdle there. And collective hearts stopped here in the Coliseum. Money Hunter on the tackle for Arkansas State.
Buyer beware when you leave the ground. Nothing good comes of it. The occasional highlight, I guess, but this could have been catastrophic. sure his coaches tell him, hey, we love the enthusiasm. Let's tone it down just a bit.
So here comes Cody Kessler, and that season last year was just sparkling. The touchdown to interception ratio was elite. Trey Madden is back for the Trojans. Fifth-year player, starts as the single back, and Kessler goes to the air right away and has a first down completion to Darius Rogers. Right away, the Trojans push it out near the 40. Another change for the USC team this year. The play calling is no longer exclusively Steve Sarkisian. It is Clay Helton, the offensive coordinator, a decision that was made back in the spring. Sarkisian told us yesterday he's still going to have some input, particularly red zone. He's thrown high and over Rogers out of bounds. But Glenn, the actual play calling, the play-to-play calling is now coming from Clay Helton.
Yeah, he had Clay Helton. He shadowed him. He called games with him to see what he was doing, and no two people called it alike, which is true. And of course, Sarkisian told us that. But he also called games with him to see what he was doing, and no two people called it alike, which is true. And of course, Sarkisian told us that. But he also made it easier for him to kind of
injury-plagued USC career, has performed so well in the time he's been out there, and now in his fifth year getting this chance to be the lead back. Buck Allen, who had been the lead back going to the pros.
Well, before his injury, Trey Madden was a guy that he does it all. He can fill in and pass. He runs the power extremely well. He's a big, strong back. He can bruise you up.
So now it's third down. JoJo Smith-Schuster was alone at the bottom, and there he is. And there he goes. And he's gone. First touchdown.
Now we take a look at Juju Smith here. Gets off the line clean, comes into the second level. Now Kessler throwing back behind himself a little bit, gets it out to him. Here's where you see the breakaway speed, the ability to use that hand. That's an incredible, it's a great route, it's crisp, but what an incredible job of finishing it off.
Juju Smith-Schuster starts his sophomore year, the first touch for 6 points. And USC adds the seventh. Alex Wood on the extra point.
Well, you take a look, Kessler steps up. This is what you love. Steps up in the pocket, eyes stay downfield, throws that back into that window, and then Juju. Great job with the hand fighting, good straight arm, and then a little tightrope walk. Here's another look. Putting that hand right on the face mask, getting it off of him.
When he turned a 15-yard play into the longest play of his USC career. He is, of course, you all remember him last year as Juju Smith. During the offseason, he legally added the name of his stepfather. So his legal name now is Juju Smith-Schuster. But obviously, Glenn, this program has had an amazing tradition in recent years. Robert Woods, Marquise Lee, Nelson Aguilar. This is now the man right here.
Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster is who they're pointing their finger at as the next guy. You see his incredible size. He's thick. He's a powerful built player. He's not a willow out there. And then when you watch him, the ability to catch that ball just off stride and then get to full speed and push off to get that touchdown.
Now Alex Wood, who kicked the extra point, kicks off, but kicks out of bounds, which is the first good thing to happen for Arkansas State tonight.
Drive you
a real
crazy.
good drive start.
Drive you crazy if you're a coach, Ted.
Free kick out of bounds by the kicking team. Ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Michael Batlin is our referee tonight, and let's get keys to the game. La Quinta keys, Glenn.
Well, the Red Wolves from Arkansas State, they got to control the pace in the clock, and they got to move Kessler's launch point a long way. The Trojans, hey, he just stays efficient, and they got to control this run game right here. They'll be fine.
Quarterback is Freddie Knighton. He's not big, but he can run. Michael Gordon, the running back, 1,100 yards last year. As Knighton feels some pressure, that's Anthony Sorrell who's in there right away and forced Knighton to launch that one out of bounds. As you heard the announcement there by Michael Batlin, no intentional grounding on the pressure from Anthony Sarro. And the keep by Knight. He's going to make a nice gain there and give Arkansas State a short third.
Yeah, good read on his part. Looking at the front side when he sees it split, he takes off up the middle. Well-designed play. Knighton's going to be a handful. He reminds you, if you're looking, he's a little like Vernon Adams at Oregon, a little like Jeremiah Masoli in this type of offense. Kind of a 6 foot tall, got some thickness to it.
Yeah, Masoli is a good connection for Pac-12 fans. Senior from Little Rock is Freddie Knighton.
Timeout, USC.
USC.
That's their first charge
took a
timeout.
Team timeout there prior to the third down snap. Freddie Knighton from Little Rock now gather up on the Arkansas State sideline before their third down play. 3rd and 2. USC's defensive coordinator Justin Wilcox has also made a move this year. He's gone upstairs and he's coordinating from the coach's booth. And USC strings it out, and that's well done. The real pressure there came from John Plattenberg, sophomore safety, that did not let the running back turn the corner.
So pay attention on the outside. He leverages the block, puts himself in position to come up and make a play. He doesn't let that wide receiver get into his chest. He doesn't let the wide receiver turn him. That's a great job by Plattenberg to hold the edge, and then explode forward and stop that play.
Michael Gordon, got an 1,100-yard runner and 6.9 a carry. He's used to getting that kind of first down, but not here. So Luke Ferguson will punt it. Jackson let it hit. What a nice punt. Well, that's perfectly done by the Arkansas State punter, Ferguson, and it's going to be down near the 7-yard line.
Well, the Pac-12 storylines for the USC Trojans this year. Hey, maybe this drought eases a little in California. High expectations return. They're getting their scholarships back slowly. How about double for the Heisman? Seeing double. Cody Kessler and Adoree Jackson. They're getting their defense and restocking the shelves there. They lost a lot of guys, but they're putting some back. And how about that front five? Offensive line, very experienced. Max Turk, best center in the conference. Probably could be the best left tackle in the conference. Incredibly explosive player.
4-year starter, Turk, anchoring the middle of that line. Quick throw, so USC able to move that ball. It's the Arkansas State trying to rip it from the hands of Stephen Mitchell, who has caught just 7 passes in his Trojan career coming in, but I liked the words that Clay Helton used to us yesterday talking about Stephen Mitchell. He said it's like having a...
As if an offensive coordinator at USC needed such a thing.
Yeah, exactly. First down and run, just smacking off the right side goes Madden.
You see, Madden, that's where you see a little bit of the patience. There's Clay Helton, offensive coordinator, calling the plays now.
It was interesting, of course, he's a holdover. And Steve Sarkisian talked to us about that. He said, didn't really know him, was impressed watching him as the interim coach for the bowl game. Decided to keep him and then spent a year trying to be sure they would be on the same page. There is going to be a late flag coming in as Smith-Schuster was trying to fly down the sideline and got tangled up with Cody Brown.
Yeah, Cody Brown was grabbing his jersey from behind. And you know what? Smart by Cody from where he was, because he couldn't keep up. And I don't think
Pass interference. Number 21 on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Pardon me, and I don't think he thought the officials could see it, but you're going to watch the right hand of Brown. He grabs that jersey, and he's holding it pretty tight right there the whole way. Juju Smith-Schuster cannot separate himself.
So USC first down from the 36. Same run play. Big hole for Trey Madden. And a good gain inside the Arkansas State 45.
Doing a nice job getting to the edge. Trey Madden, you see, he's one of those guys that's patient enough to wait for the hole and decisive enough to explode right through it.
20-yard gain there by Madden. This time swallowed up for no gain. Arkansas State, the flip side of their team, pretty powerful offense, very shaky defense last year, and they have changed a lot of personnel. They brought a whole load of new faces in to play on this side of the ball. And Kessler has his man, but just misses Mitchell at the 10.
That's where Cody Kessler can learn something. He'll watch the film. He's going to know that he's got no safeties back there, so he can put a little air into this ball. There's no second level defender to close on it. So put just a little more air, let his guy get to it. You don't have to worry about someone else coming over, but that's something he'll see on film and learn from.
Because that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Mitchell blowing by his man. And now Arkansas State hoping for a stop here. They need one on third down. They rush 3, a delayed 4. They get pressure, and it's the delayed rusher who eventually wraps up Kessler. Tajay Chambers.
Well, Tajay Chambers right in the middle right here. You can just see him. He's going to just make a night. He's going to wait as he spies the back. The minute he knows he's staying, in he goes. And the offensive line loses track of him because he pauses. Because he's not in their field of vision among the first guys to attack, they don't pay any attention, and now he comes.
One of the new faces, freshman, first game in college, and Tajay Chambers gets himself a sack. Chris Murray, boy, that's a great directional punt by Chris Alvarado, hitting Murray right to the sideline. The cover men knew it was there. That's just well done by the USC special teams. First play of the season to Dory Jackson on the kick return, hurdling, going very high in the air, and then just a moment later, Juju Smith-Schuster with the touchdown catch and run, 61 yards, longest play in his USC career. Now the second Arkansas State possession. Oh, and Knighton throws one that is almost picked by freshman Cameron Smith. That's a nice story. Cameron Smith, his first game at USC, and he is starting as an inside linebacker. He's from Roseville, California, just outside of Sacramento.
I like the design of that play. They had him open. They just missed him.
Last freshman to start at inside linebacker for USC in his first game was Ricky Gray Ellison. Feels like a million years ago. And here's Kenny Bigelow. Well, Glenn, something USC told us, they have more depth. And they told us they're going to play 14 defenders up front in the first quarter, the front 7.
They want to get as many. They know they're going to play a tempo team. They want to get as much experience and as much rest as they can for their guys moving forward into the season.
And this is depth. And we were trying to have a little bit of fun with Steve Sarkisian about that yesterday, asking him if he understood that word. Everybody at USC is well aware of what's happened the last few years, the number of walk-ons that have ended up playing, that have ended up filling out the roster.
False start. 84 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Remains third down.
This was caused by Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson is up in press coverage, and he bails before the snap, and the receiver, Dijon Pascal, jumps when Adoree Jackson bails.
There's Jackson right at the bottom again against Pascal. It's a long third. Knighton trying to make something happen from the end zone. And throws it too high for Pascal. And now Arkansas State will have to short punt this. They will not have the full 15 yards to line up the punter.
If you're a Red Wolves fan, you're a little upset because you're concerned. Obviously, you've got a team here that you would like to get a win against. You know you're an uphill slog. You cannot have the penalties. You've got to control pace. You've got to control clock. You can't have those penalties that set you back into this position.
So you see Ferguson, this is about 10 yards with a snap rather than 15. He's got to make sure he doesn't touch that back line of the end zone. Does a good job just to bang that out. And Jackson got one block to get him up the middle. He got about 10 yards back on the return and will start USC with a 7-0 lead in Arkansas State territory. Well, there's further on the scholarship situation for USC. And again, Trojans fans, college football fans a lot understand the last few years that number was in the 60s. And there was a game 2 years ago, Glenn, I think we were in Boulder. USC had less than, I think they were in the 50s in terms of scholarship players that traveled on the trip. Now they're at 81. Sarkisian told us yesterday it's going to take them another year or two to get to the full 85. They have a big senior class this year, but as the obvious number shows there, they're just a much better overall state for the football program. And Kessler on first down throws the underneath cross to Mitchell, short gain.
Going back to that whole scholarship thing, it's so imperative. Back in the day, there were 120 kids on scholarship. Now with only 85, and yet all these teams have gone to super high tempo offenses, more plays. Kids are getting tired on both sides of the ball. You need every scholarship you have.
And Madden now running inside, just squirming through the middle, drives it down inside the 40. Try to run a but Arkansas stay with the stuff, and that's the word that Blake Anderson kept using is Rocky Hayes and some help from Javon Roland Jones there. The word Blake Anderson kept using with us when we spoke to him this week, Glenn, was physical. He wanted his defense to be more physical.
That's right, and you saw it there. Roland James comes up, wins the edge, and that allows this backup to come up and finish the job for him.
And Madden makes a nice move, but I believe the spot's going to be short. Arkansas State did a good job stringing that up, pushing them out. And that spot is going to determine whether or not it's a first down. And welcome all now to the Los Angeles Coliseum in this opening night of Pac-12 After Dark. Saturday night, USC with a quick touchdown. Cody Kessler to JoJo Smith-Schuster's 61-yard score. Here, USC has just gone for it on 4th and 2 in Arkansas State territory, and this is how close. As the chain gets stretched, and they are going to be stopped. Arkansas State defense stopping Trey Madden on 2 consecutive runs, short yardage runs. Glenn Parker to take the ball away on downs.
Like we said on the previous play, physical is what the coach wanted. And in that last play, not only physical play, but guys flying. Guys just flying to the ball. Right. Flying with good angles to get there.
So now we get a review. Bill Richardson, veteran around the pack for a long time, is our replay official tonight. We're going to have him use the new system, 4 different views that the replay official gets in the booth here.
I think it's a good spot. I think if anything, it might even could go back a little. I think that's a great job. He tries to put it out, but I think he's already out of bounds when he tries to extend that ball. I think that's a good spot, and as I said, if anything, it might even be able to go back a little bit.
Nice getting off that block. Arkansas State Cody Brown that helped force Madden to go wider. So USC's striking big on a pass play for a touchdown on their first possession. Now may have been after a great drive start. Arkansas State had to punt from its own end zone. Blake Anderson, the Arkansas State head coach.
Rolling on the field, stands. The shorter line to gain. First down.
And so the second-year head coach of the Red Wolves, Blake Anderson, gets a positive. His defense with a stop. And for all of you just joining us, we were referencing Arkansas State last year. Anderson's first year as head coach. Very good offense, very soft defense.
They came out the last drive, and I really liked their concept. They just didn't get the ball completed. They've got to eat some clock. They've got to control some pace. Give their defense a break.
All right, so Arkansas State with Freddie Knighton as their quarterback. He's trying to get outside and does, and breaks. It's finally run out of bounds, and that's the ability Knighton gives Arkansas State. Not a big guy, but can run over 700 rush yards last year.
Picked up a great block on the edge with his wide receiver Blake Mack up there, and he used that very well, set it up.
incompletion. So this is the third possession for Arkansas State. First possession of the game, USC took the opening kickoff and immediately scored on the 61-yard pass from Cody Kessler to Juju Smith-Schuster. And all college football fans will get used to the new name, Juju Smith, adding legally the name of his stepfather during the offseason. Johnston White now the running back. Quick sideline screen goes to Blake Mack, sophomore receiver.
You know, obviously this is a big part of their game. They're a running team, up-tempo, and they're going to throw those screens. It's frustrating when you're a team like Arkansas State, though, because the speed difference on defense at USC is so good, it negates so much of your offense. I still think they need to be running more vertical at them. A lot of the QB keeps straight up that they've run off the zone read, I think, are where they have to make their bread and butter.
So the Red Wolves of Arkansas State, they need 7. This may be 2 plays to get the yardage. Knight, great fake. Boy, that was outstanding.
Good job. You know, what do we just say? They got to get a little more vertical. QB runs right up the middle. That's where they've done fairly well so far, because the defense gets on they get on that horse kind of move. They want to contain. They want to get to the edge. If you can make that mesh and fake really strong, you've got some room to run there.
9-yard gain by Freddie Knight and a first down. That's a freshman running back, Warren Wan, leaking out to the left, but Knight throwing up the middle, and a bad throw. Picked off. Chris Hawkins. There's flags down. 2 flags are down behind the play, and I believe they're after. Well, let's see. Was it after the pick or not? It could be roughing the passer. One was thrown by the referee.
It's going to be a personal foul for getting after the quarterback in a really bad shot. Antoine Woods hit it.
After the interception, personal foul, number 99 on the intercepting team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, so that's the key. It was a shot on the quarterback after the interception. So the interception stands, but the quarterback still has protection.
That's correct. And here, you know, the thing with Knighton here, this ball's underthrown. He's having to change his launch point by moving his feet, so he can't follow through, and that's why it floats. And here's what you're going to see. Once it's a pick, take a look at Antoine Woods. He takes a shot here. He's got protection, and he pops it.
He's thinking Antoine Woods thinks he's a blocker, but the quarterback still has protection.
Unless he's directly involved trying to tackle, they protect him.
So the interception will stand for Chris Hawkins, second of his USC career. But the field position shifts dramatically with the foul back to the 15. Kessler going to be run down. Arkansas State's defense has arrived after their early shot they took. And that's, again, freshman Tajay Chambers. He got a sack and now a tackle for loss.
Great anticipation, good closing speed. And what he's showing good vision out there and understanding what USC is trying to do to them.
Loss of 7 on the play. Now USC is backed up. So they spread with 4 receivers. Running back is Dominic Davis, a freshman. Pass there to Smith-Schuster. That's a good gain. Gets the loss back plus. Juju Smith-Schuster caught 54 last year. I'm going to guess, Glenn, 6 games this year. He'll go past that number.
Yeah, with the up-tempo, with him being the designated guy on offense, yeah, he's gonna get a lot of chances.
So Darius Rogers on the other side, and so very calmly, Cody Kessler, after the first play loss, 2 completions for a first down.
And this is what you see the accuracy out of Kessler. He knows this concept, he knows where Rogers is going to be, and he just strikes at it. He doesn't stare him down, just gets the snap, waits his heartbeat or 2, and then fires. Incredible.
USC again showing off depth. Here's another one. They have 3 freshman running backs. first games at USC, and they're all going to play here in this first half. That is Ronald Jones from McKinney, Texas. Saw Dominic Davis, who's from Los Angeles, Bishop Alemany High School. He was in on the previous play. Third freshman is Aka Cedric Ware. All three are going to play tonight behind Trey Madden. Jones gets back-to-back carries, and it's another Trojan first.
That's just a version of the stretch play. What they do is all offensive linemen take their step to the right. He's got a landmark that he's looking for, and when he sees it open up, he takes one cut and goes. That's a great job of running, understanding the concept of the run.
They've been running very well behind the right guard, Toa Lobendon, and the right tackle, Zach Banner.
Well, Zach Banner's larger than any three human beings, so...
Another deep shot. That's the second time that Kessler in this first quarter has taken a deep run at Stephen Mitchell. Cody Brown on the cover.
And I think he thought he was held. You heard the crowd. Maybe a bit in a little arm fighting, but nothing too egregious, I don't think. So I think it's a good no call. Going back to that right side with Toa Lobendon and Zach Banner. Very big, but very active offensive lineman.
Kessler 6 of 9 so far for 107. Of course, the big touchdown pass to Smith-Schuster. And now Kessler does not get rid of the ball and eventually sacked by Darius Rosser.
Great job of Rosser keeping his motor going. You can see Toa Lobendon doesn't come back on when you have an ET, when you have any type of looping stunt, you've got to make sure your inside power step moves along the line of scrimmage and doesn't hinge open, and when that happens, you can get a sack.
2 first quarter sacks for Arkansas State. Kessler dumps underneath. Oh, a nice tackle there by the heels. Chris Stone stopping Trey Madden, who's just about ready to get ahead of steam and charge toward the line to gain.
Yeah, great job by Stone. He recognized it a split second in time to make that run, make that sprint, and grab those ankles, make a tackle. That's a great job by that man.
So, again, Arkansas State's defense, after getting punched on the first series, they've come back, and they have forced now a second USC punt by Alvarado. This is Blaze Taylor. Again, Alvarado, both his punts have been very well placed right up between the numbers and the sideline to prevent much of a return.
I love the way Arkansas State's defense is playing. They're playing with emotion, they're playing with passion, they're not backing down from situations, they're putting their bodies in the right spot. They realize they're a little slow, and that's where that emotion's coming. And I don't mean slow as in they're a slow team, but compared to USC, they have they're gonna have issues. Now their offense has to kind of get going and control that clock a little and steal a few points here.
Well, they got close. They pushed it into USC territory on the last possession before Knighton was intercepted. This time he gives it. That's Michael Gordon. He is their leading runner from last season, over 1,100 yards. And Gordon gets about 8 on first down before Hawkins pushes him.
Gordon does a nice job breaking one tackle and then getting himself out there. So many times you look, now USC brings another man into the box to stop that run.
And this time the Trojans swarm. Knight can't get it loose. It was dropped for a loss.
Porter Gustin is the guy that makes that play. He comes from outside, and he'll start out there, number 45, see Gustin. He stops that play. There's no read now because of the way they brought him from that edge. That's the direct adjustment the defense makes to stop the zone read.
The 2 more freshmen, it was Gustin and Osa Messina who helped finish. 2 more first game players for USC. As the Trojans are running a lot of new faces out there, getting them all baptized tonight. Knighton is about to get wrapped up and dropped there as he throws it incomplete for Blake Mack.
The hardest thing for Knighton to do is he's going to have to take his hits. He's going to have to take his lumps and stay in there and deliver the ball. The interception was caused because he threw off his back foot trying to avoid a hit. That miss right there was caused because he's trying to get away a little and throw that ball on the run.
Right now, Freddie Knighton has completed just one pass out of 7 tries for 3 yards in the first quarter. Arkansas State's offense has largely been Knighton running. He's 27 on the ground. Ferguson hits a low line drive. Jackson will pick it up on the second hop. Huge block. And Adoree Jackson is into Arkansas State territory, and he got one pulverizing block.
Yeah, he slowed down a lot at the end of this run. And you take a look, he gets out there and he slows down, and he's going to stop and go right off the field. You can see it right there. Hopefully he's going to be okay. I don't know that we'll see him the next series.
Well, that will be, there you see it, immediately dealt with by the USC medical staff. In the meantime, to the 40-yard line of Arkansas State. And now very much a drive that Kessler wants to finish with points. Well, again, we spun away. And that's a terrific job by Cody Kessler. And all the way down inside the 5-yard line. First USC catch for Isaac Whitney.
So Cody Kessler wants Juju Smith-Schuster on the out to the right. You can see his eyes; he's locked on. So he doesn't quite see that rush to the last minute. Does a great job avoiding it, and that's an incredible job of being accurate down the field while being wrapped up. That part of it, that is an impressive throw by that young man.
Ends up being a 31-yard gain, and now it's red zone football for the Trojans. They were the best red zone team in the Pac-12 last year. But they're going to get backed up and have to get in from the 14.
Ball start, 72 offense. 5-yard penalty, Maine's first down.
Chad Wheeler coming back off his ACL last year.
Chad Wheeler's a guy they really are happy to get back. Very mobile big man. He's got nice feet. That's why he's at left tackle, obviously. He'll be active. He'll get down the field. He'll second effort, try to finish guys.
Mitchell motions to the top, gets the screen. Wheeler out there to block. And that's what Mitchell needed. Chad Wheeler using those fast feet that Parker points out to block and get Mitchell to the end zone.
Yeah, this type of screen is so well designed. You take your left tackle out, your center's going to block back, so he comes out as well but turns. So watch, 72 and 75. That's Turk who looks back. A big Chad Wheeler out in front gets a good pop. They make the most of it right there.
So Stephen Mitchell, one of a very deep group of receivers for USC. Second first quarter touchdown for the Trojans on the final play of it. Will be Alex Wood's kick. And so the first quarter comes to an end, and USC does take advantage again of a short field set up by Adoree Jackson's punt return. Stephen Mitchell for the score.
There's Max. One of the big dogs up front. Kind of the bell cow of this team. One of those guys that coach says, hey, that's my guy. He is a Trojan.
Madden getting the run here, spreads it all the way to the near sideline. Strings that play out and gains 4 yards.
That was a great job by Trey Madden, understanding it's designed to run behind the pull of the center. There's a little bit of an edge. He sees it. He just keeps bumping it out until he can get himself a few yards.
So a good first down gain that gives Kessler and the Trojans better second. He's got a pressure here and he couldn't get out. Arkansas State sending people. And coming in from the secondary, Tajay Chambers along with Charleston Gurley.
They're being pressure from both sides, so it's a play action pass. You don't have enough blockers for everybody that's there because you have to bring your tackle down to cover for the man who pulls. That edge guy comes on both sides, you're really in trouble.
Chambers, the freshman, 32 from Gordon. George has been very active in this first half of the Arkansas State defense. Brought some junior college players in, transfers, and a couple of freshmen just to give their defense life. That throw not held by Tober, and so USC goes 3 and out.
Yeah, that's frustrating for you as if you're a USC fan or the coaches. You know, you set yourself up. Hey, you got second and manageable. You take that sack. You got to be, as a quarterback, he's got to be able to see that before he calls that play if he's given that power. And then right there, the ball's there. You would hope for someone to make a catch. It's not. These are the things that these games are for. You got to get it all together early in the season.
Alvarado with a punt. Chris Murray lets it hit. Takes a good USC roll. Tacks on close to 15 on the bounce. And that'll start Arkansas State at their 35. 4 minutes into the second quarter.
Welcome back inside the Coliseum. Moments ago, USC athletic trainers were working out Adoree Jackson. They were trying to stretch out his left hip. Now, he was running up and down the sidelines. The trainers did take his helmet away for a good 5 minutes or so, but he just took it back. He went back out into the huddle, so it looks like everything is going to be okay with Adoree.
All right, Jill. And again, way too early in the season for USC to run any risk facing actually a conference game even 2 weeks from today. Motion pass goes to McKissick. Short gain. Let's look again at Jackson on this first quarter punt return.
You'll see him, he just kind of, as he's running, just kind of comes up a little bit gimpy, gets himself off the field. Certainly hope he's all right.
And the realities of football got hammered home, as you saw, Glenn, Thursday night in Tucson with Scooby Wright.
Yeah, and what appeared to be a non-contact play, went out, didn't return for the game, and mixed reports right now, but it looks like he'll be out for some time. Big blow to the Arizona Wildcats defense.
So Michael Gordon with a short gain, and now Arkansas State. Blake Anderson's not excited about something that he's discussing with the side judge there.
But maybe they were talking about dinner after the game. I didn't know.
Arkansas State with 3 first downs. They need 6 here to keep their drive alive. And won't get it. Again, Knighton was being pressured. He was about to get hit by Bigelow. Did get hit, actually, but did get rid of the ball.
Got rid of the ball, but again, it's the rush. He's not a natural or good enough passer to change his mechanics that much. He's got to just know and throw and not worry about those hits. He likes to run the ball. He's a guy that's used to dishing out hits and getting hit. Just take them and get your team down the field and help your team out a little bit.
So 3 first downs for Arkansas State and now 5 punts. So not a good ratio in the first half of the Red Wolves. Given their offensive totals of recent years, they're not used to this. Well, that's muffed, and let's see who has it. Flag down. Now there was contact as well. Tober muffed the punt.
Yeah, didn't give him enough room to catch that ball. So it'll be USC's ball, I believe.
First decision will be this to see who recovered.
Now that guy with no hat, the official down there, that's the umpire. That's Craig DiBernardo.
Trocine got up with the ball for Arkansas State. I haven't seen a motion yet, but he's the one that handed the ball to the official.
Yeah, the umpire, no hat. You see him down there digging? Rick DiBernardo, umpire. He's a big, strong dude. You don't mess with him now.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
All right, so it is the kick catch interference. And again, Blake Anderson hoping that was going to be the break his team needed in this first half. Instead, it'll give USC a much better field position to start. There it is, just too close. Our Pac-12 football presented by Bank of the West. Steve Sarkisian and USC in first half command here. One big pass play to Juju Smith-Schuster for a touchdown. A second scoring throw from Kessler to Mitchell. Trey Madden on the run. Still running. And Trey Madden's going to get 6. No flags. 65 yards by Trey Madden.
Well, Trey Madden does a really good job, as we said, of understanding the concept. Following his lead blocker, setting him up, then having vision down the field. Nice cut there on the second level, then back. Understanding he's got the angle on the entire defense. Doesn't even look like he's running that hard.
65 yards. His longest previous run here was 34. And so another big play for the Trojans. And Alex, what adds the point? It is obviously what happens when you have this level of talent. The explosive plays. The Trojans have a 21-point lead. USC in this first half has had a 61-yard touchdown pass, a 65-yard touchdown run just produced by Madden, a 31-yard pass that set up their other touchdown. What you'd expect. And the Trojans offense has showed it in this first half. Kick into the field of play. McKissick runs it back. And piled up shy of the 25. So let's get an update now from Mike Yen.
It's time for the Trans-America game break. We check in on the third-ranked team in the country, Alabama, matching up against the 20th-ranked team, Wisconsin. It's a 14-7 advantage in the third quarter. Derrick Henry just taken off. 56 yards for the touchdown. 13 carries, a $147, 3 scores. Roll Tide. They finished this one off 35-17.
Now Freddie Knight back to work here for Arkansas State. Not much offense. They've had 22 plays so far and just 66 yards. Trying his keeper, and he's bottled up for a short game. Arkansas State. Jonesboro, Arkansas, about an hour's from Memphis. That's where they drove yesterday. They busted Memphis to get their flight here. But their athletic director came out this week and said the one thing Arkansas State's doing, trying to build a national brand in football. That's why they're playing a game like this. Obviously, they get well compensated. But this is not a home and home. And Blake Anderson is, again, a guy that just the fact he stayed for a second year has people there. They went, and 3 pretty good coaches, Hugh Freeze, Gus Malzahn, the Gus Bus, and then Brian Harsin all went 1 year to Arkansas State and then moved on.
That tells you that you can win at that program. It tells you there's a lot of upside to the program. Each of those guys came, had a year, and went on.
Tough throw, moving the opposite way, and it's going to be, is that caught? I believe so. Sliding grab by McKissick. That's first down.
That's the second good catch we've seen by McKissick. That's a great throw, though, by Freddie Knight. Rolling to his left, having to get his shoulders turned, and then delivering on a dime where that ball had to go. That's a great throw by Freddie Knight.
Freddie Knight threw 32 touchdown passes last year. 67% completion percent. Oh, and he got crushed as he threw that one. Man. And that was another USC freshman, Iman Marshall from Long Beach Poly, get his USC debut.
Yeah, off the corner, goes untouched. Freddie Knight cannot follow through. That is not an issue of having the wrong form because you're afraid of getting hit. It's impossible to have form because you're getting hit.
Freshmen all over the field tonight. It's funny, USC, it seems like they're playing at 2 poles here tonight. They have a lot of freshmen, first games ever in the program that are playing, and they also have 7 starters tonight who are graduate students here. There's a nice development, or a nice, defense on the run. Warren Wand, that's an Arkansas State freshman, who's brought down by Cravens.
Stuart Cravens just does a great job because on the edge, he's going against a wide receiver on the edge, and he just maintains edge control and forces that ball back in.
So now long third. Stay with 4 first downs in this first half. Trying to get one here with a swing. And they'll be stopped short. Put it in the hands of Tyler Trocine.
After the play is over, personal foul, number 72 on the offense, late to the pile. 15-yard penalty, will be 4th down.
Offensive lineman Joseph Bacchus is called there for Arkansas State, but let's go back a play and watch Seward Cravens.
You see him in space. He's going against Booker Mays out here, and he knows it, so he just keeps playing the edge and forces that ball back under. There's nowhere outside of him to go because he uses the wide receiver and the blocker as his edge guy. He just keeps pushing him to the sideline. A great job by Sue. He's out in space. As I said, he's strong enough and powerful enough to play a linebacker, that he's fleet-footed enough to cover a wide receiver.
So another Arkansas State punt, their 6th of the first half. Fair catch being taken there by Christian Tober. So while USC comes back out for their possession, let's go back down to Jill.
Going beyond the X's and O's with Trojans linebacker Anthony Serro. He graduated with a degree in public policy development on the real estate track. Now he spends his summers going sightseeing with local realtors. He told us the most interesting thing that he learned is the deep relationships that you have to be successful, and he didn't realize how much patience you would have to have in this line of work. I asked him where he plans to set up shop after his football career ends. He said if the self-driving cars come to help ease the LA traffic, Ted, he's staying here, but if not, he'll go anywhere, because the first rule of real estate, location, location, location.
Well, he needs to come up to Northern California, my part of the woods here, where I see those Google cars driving around every so often. But Anthony Serro is one of those 7 students we referenced, one of 7 students who have already received their degrees, playing for USC, graduate program. And with all of the attention that's been focused, most unwanted attention on Steve Sarkisian's situation, self-inflicted, it is something that USC is very proud of. As there's a throw. And that's DeQuan Hampton, a junior, on the catch. But USC is very proud. Again, coming off a semester highest GPA for the football team.
You know, you have 7 graduate students on your team. That, like he says, that sets a great example for the younger guys. How to conduct business, how to go about being a football player and a student.
There's freshman running back Ronald Jones getting space. A nice counter run inside the 40 of Arkansas State.
See a really good change of pace with Roland Jones. The speed, cutting ability, great difference from Trey Madden. A little slider build. That's a good change of pace to have on your offense.
Missed tackle on the outside. Jalen Green with a USC first down.
They bring him in motion. That creates the angle to get him open. Comes out in motion. There's no one over there. Of course, Cody Kessler, efficient and accurate. Get tired of saying the same things about him, but it is amazing how accurate of a passer he really is.
Green, a rarity. He's a redshirt. They didn't seem to redshirt very many last year, but they did redshirt him. It's his second year. First year playing at USC. But that's the numbers, and we talked to Clay Helton about this yesterday. Glenn Kessler's numbers last year just across the board were stunning. And one of the 3 benchmarks that Clay Helton referenced, and it was really, interestingly, the third one was accuracy.
Yeah, and right on that last play, that's a true freshman, Tyler Petit. You could see Kessler tell him to flatten out, because the ball was delivered where he should have been. He should have flattened that route out a little bit.
Dominic Davis, the running back on second down. Green, the motion man. It's a backwards throw, so he can forward throw it. And it's caught inside the 10. Dominic Davis leaking out, running a wheel route, and Jalen Green put it right there.
Bring him around, throw it back to him to Jalen Green. Now that lateral, so he throws. Now Jamaris Hart, the DB, is all over this. He does a great job of not abandoning his position and being where he's got to be. Just an incredible catch out there.
And now the red zone runner. This is the fullback, Soma Bainuku, getting just a straight ahead hammer run, takes it down to around the 2.
Now that last play was very simply USC telling everybody in the Pac-12 what they have to look out for.
I think it's funny because they talked to us yesterday about being prepared for throwbacks and all those kind of plays from Arkansas State. The Trojans unveil one of their own, and then off the little play action, easy touchdown throw to a position we haven't talked about tonight because it is the one unsettled position on the USC offense, tight end, and that's their new starter, Taylor McNamara.
Yeah, they went from having a couple of really good next level tight ends, and now they don't. This is simply this is called a naked. And what you do is you get everybody running one way, your tight end blocks down, and then just wheels right back out and is open underneath.
And so the Trojans offense efficient, using the big run by Ronald Jones and then the throwback pass, 18-yard pass from Jalen Green to Dominic Davis. And it all sets up USC's touchdown for a 28-0 lead. So to take a look at our Coors Light cold hard facts, this is what, it's a measure of both Cody Kessler, Glenn, and I think the caliber of quarterbacking that this conference enjoyed. Look at that, 3 of the top 5 in the nation last year were Pac-12 quarterbacks.
Yeah, when you're looking at best TD to interception ratio, and you look at those numbers, as you said, 2 of them were underclassmen as well. Well, I should say 2 of them are back. Marcus Mariota was an underclassman, but chose to leave early. That's an incredible level of quarterback play in the conference.
Cody Kessler is, of course, the anchor, a veteran here. And on that drive that we just saw from USC, except for the one carry by the senior fullback Bainuku, every other play on that drive was Kessler to a new player. Freshman, and then McNamara, who is a graduate transfer student.
And if you're Steve Sarkisian, this is exactly what you need. You need to get all those guys in so that when you get into conference play, they've got some experience under their belt.
There by Michael Gordon, running back on the kick return, comes back out to the 20-yard line. Well, a lot of non-conference games, of course, in September, so we have a full boat again for you next Saturday here. Early games, early kickoffs both in Seattle and in Boulder. Then to Berkeley for what could be a good one, San Diego State and Cal. Here at the Coliseum again for USC, and it wraps up in Tempe with Arizona State, all next Saturday on the Pac-12 Network. Freshman quarterbacks, Jake Browning last night. Heartbreak ending for Washington, but went the distance. And after a rough start, Browning and Washington gave themselves a chance at Boise State.
They did. They came up a little short. Tough for Chris Peterson as a homecoming, so to speak.
Damian Griswold catching that pass for Arkansas State.
That was a great first down for them. It was a good throw. Now they've got a chance.
It's time to hand it off, and that's going to be close to a first down as that is Johnston White, sophomore running back from Covington, Tennessee, took the handoff there and gets it close to a first. Let's see where the spot is.
I think he made it. I think he got
there. They gave him a good spot. That is a first down. I thought they were telling the folks on the sideline to move the chains, but they haven't. They're saying it's third down.
Now they're going to go deeper.
All right.
Blake Anderson is all over him.
Yeah, I think they're confused on the field. That spot looks like a first down spot.
Arkansas State, that's their first time out.
And I'm sure Blake Anderson is upset about, hey, you got to measure that. The ball is spotted. It is clearly a first down.
30-second charge timeout.
And so this is not being done well on the field right now. You can understand Blake Anderson being upset. I mean, Blake Anderson is saying exactly what we see. That's a first down spot.
Of course, our 1st and 10 line is not official, but it can give you a good idea.
But where the ball is laying on the field right now is clearly ahead of where the stick is on the sideline. It's not even close. And now they finally do acknowledge it and move the sticks.
Okay.
That's what Blake Anderson was rightly pointing out. That's what I said. The crew on the field got confused.
I would assume
Blake Anderson should
that,
get his timeout back.
Yeah, he wants that timeout back.
Because that's a mistake on the field. He should not be penalized for that. All right, so now, at least this is the proper play. It is first down for Arkansas State. This is Warren Watt, and look at him go. Well, that's why he was a dynamic recruit. He's only 5'5", from Edmond, Oklahoma, a suburb of Oklahoma City. This is what they think. Out of a small body can come big plays.
They told us he was explosive. He was a real bright spot all of camp. Just a simple sweep. He picked up one good block by his wide receiver. Gone.
It's the biggest offensive play of the first half before Arkansas State gets them into USC territory. It's going to be a 3 or 4 yard first down on the swing pass. Let's take one more look at 5'5" Warren Watt.
When he gets out of it, you see he gets a little block from his tight end, Darian Griswold. That swung in just enough, and then he rolls over some people. Guy that short, you don't want to. It's hard to try to get under him.
Knight keeps it on second down, and he goes straight to get a couple.
And this has been a really well-designed drive by them. They've won on first down. They've had a little bit of an outside run game to go with it. They've gotten themselves ahead of the sticks. Now they're in a manageable third. You'd have to think that this is 4-down territory for them.
So the Red Wolves here need about 2.5 yards to get right to the 35. And now that hurts them a little bit because there was going to be a 2-minute warning coming up before the play clock ran out. They did not need to. Or excuse me. This is Saturday, not Sunday. State Farm halftime report. And we'll get a look at Vernon Adams. And it was electric. He got the start against his old team, Eastern Washington, and Oregon scored a ton. But I'll say one thing. I think, Glenn, all of us today watching whatever you watched of the UCLA game, Josh Rosen, you get it.
We knew he was highly recruited. We knew there was a reason he got that start. Wow. He was impressive.
Yep, two brand new quarterbacks, Browning at Washington and Rosen at UCLA. And of course, the big difference is the supporting cast. Josh Rosen has a lot of returning talent around him at UCLA, but they looked real good today. Nice fake, and Knight keeps it and gets the Arkansas State first.
That was a good job by Knight in understanding what he saw. He saw Sua Cravens come up on the end of the line. He saw that the way they went, they were going to attack from the edges. And he understood, if I can keep this on the backside, I've got yardage.
The Red Wolves with one timeout. Fake the reverse. Juan keeps the ball. He does dance his way down close to the 30. That throw errant off the hands of Trez Houston. So now third down. Arkansas State has not been in USC territory much. They've run 11 plays now on a Trojan side of the 50. And you're at that part of the field here where you might think, if you're Blake Anderson, you have two plays here. Gordon, the running back, pulls the ball back. Gets down to give Arkansas State a short fourth down play. Olajuwon Tucker and Iman Marshall on the Trojan tackle.
You're right. He made it manageable for fourth down. The spot's decent. He's got 2.5 yards, almost 3 full yards.
So first fourth down play tonight for the Red Wolves of Arkansas State. Michael Gordon, the running back. Trojans bring pressure, and Knighton tries to throw for it, and it's incomplete.
He's very anxious to get the ball out of his hand, and that's what causes that. He sees people coming. He'll take a look. He wants to go to his left, and once he sees those hands come up, he wants that ball out.
That was Dejon Pascal against Jonathan Lockett of the Trojans. So, fourth down, Arkansas State went for it, and they come up empty, and now USC will have a chance to run out the first half. We'll see what Sarkisian chooses to do here. 30 seconds, 2 timeouts. Kessler's going to... That's to the freshman tight end Tyler Petit from actually not far from the Cal Berkeley campus in Lafayette, California. He's a player that they think with time will develop into that tight end receiving weapon. Oh, Kessler got hit from behind, held the ball. Javon Rollin-Jones with the sack for Arkansas State.
Impressed with Arkansas State's pass rush when it's coming. See that? He gets the outside hand down. Death for an offensive tackle is to get the outside hand down, because the only way you can turn, only way you can meet the rush then is to open your hips, and it creates a short corner to the quarterback.
So that is that was a dangerous play, the blindside sack. The one thing USC couldn't afford there was a fumble. Kessler did hold the ball, but there is the first half across the board. Kessler 3 touchdown throws, and Madden, this big play, a 65-yard run.
Great run by Madden. What we saw is just efficient offense for the most part. They had their problems. They got stopped on a fourth down, but for the most part they were efficient, workmanlike, and then of course a couple of big explosive plays due to the speed and talent on that offense.
So the run up the runway at the tunnel at the Coliseum. USC commanding the first half. 315 total yards, but big plays, explosive plays. 61-yard touchdown pass to Juju Smith-Schuster, 65-yard run by Trey Madden. No turnovers, and it's all a USC first half as they would expect in their season debut. 28-0. Back to our Pac-12 studios for halftime. Well, USC's offense really exploding. More than consistent long drives, explosive plays. Cody Kessler had one of those on a 61-yard catch and run by Juju Smith-Schuster, his first touch of the season, ending up as a career-long touchdown pass. And then Trey Madden back after missing a second season as a Trojan due to injury with that career-long touchdown run. And so, if there's one thing that jumps out amidst all the good things, Glenn, offensive lineman, USC did let Kessler get sacked 5 times.
Yeah, that's too many times, and most of them there wasn't blitzes. This was guys getting beat on tricks and stunts and just good, relentless defensive line play.
Yeah. All right, so if you're USC, How much do you think Kessler, because he's had a lot of new faces around him, it's nice to have that anchor. How long does Sarkisian let him play?
Well, I think you get him some exposure here throughout the third quarter. If you maintain a lead or even build upon it, then you can get him out and get your next quarterback something.
All right, let's hear what Steve Sarkisian had to say coming out of the locker room a few moments ago with Jill.
Coach, your assessment in the first half of your team, you told us you wanted to see clean play, physical execution. What were your takeaways?
Well, I think we've done some good things, Jill. I think that we did a couple things in the running game. Trey obviously had a couple nice runs there. I like what we're doing up front defensively. We knew the quarterback was going to cause us some havoc, but for the most part, we've contained them. We're getting them off the field. I'd like us to protect Cody a little bit better. They've done a good job of getting some pressure on him, so I'd like to clean that up in the second half.
And Adoree Jackson, a three-way player for you, but spent most of the first half on the sidelines. Any update on him?
He won't be back. He's got kind of a strained hip flexor there. We're just trying to protect him.
Thanks so much for your time, Coach.
All right, thank you, Jill.
All right, there's a couple of answers, especially on Adoree Jackson, but yes, Steve Sarkisian feeling the same way. He doesn't want to see his quarterback take too many smacks in the first game of the season. And Adoree Jackson, as we suspected, there is no reason to push him and risk anything on a night like tonight, given the fact that the Trojans have that oddity because they and Stanford are the two schools that play Notre Dame. Thanksgiving weekend each year, one of them does. They're going to play each other in an early conference game here 2 weeks from today. On the run back, Chris. No, this is Michael Gordon on the run back, but here's Trey Madden's first half.
Well, the thing about him is this goes under the one good turn deserves another. Now, Trey Madden in the backfield, he comes out, he's looking, he's open. But now here's what's important. Look at the hustle. Trey Madden comes into the bottom of the frame, gets up there, gets a block, springs a few more yards. So now he's got to use now it's his turn, right? He's got Pinner, the fullback, right in front of him. It's a nice job. Inserts, that's going to be a problem. He does a nice job of cutting off of that and getting himself a very long 60-yard plus run. He worked for it one way and he got it the other.
And there is the first real big pass play of the night. Trez Houston hauling in that long sideline throw from Freddie Knight. 41-yard gain.
How about that? Just going deep, taking their chances.
Freddie Knight only had 40 pass yards in the entire first half, so he gets 41 on his first throw of the second. Quick to the outside, caught by Pascal. Lockett on the tackle.
There's that previous play. Long ball. Still not crazy about the mechanics, but he puts it out there and just a great job of coming back around for Trez Houston to make a high point that ball, come down with it.
Arkansas State trying to get some offensive momentum. This is going to be a throwback, but Knighton was covered. That was supposed to be a throwback to Knighton in every appearance, but Knighton was covered, so Trez Houston had nowhere to go with it.
And did the smart thing, threw it out of bounds. Get yourself back. You had a good first down, now you got 2 downs to get yourself 5 yards.
Warren Wand is in the game, the freshman running back to the left of Knighton. And Wand has to help with a block there. And Knighton does get to the outside and is going to be close. Just short, but even at his small size, Warren Wand did enough there just to get in the way of a defender.
Yeah, he's the zone read guy. He realizes he overshot, comes back, and throws his tiny little frame in front of someone very large.
Yeah, Cameron Smith, USC freshman, was blocked down, and now Freddie Knighton's mark does get him a first down. So the drive goes on for Arkansas State. Incomplete there to Trocine. Knighton is now 8 out of 20 passing. 86 yards, 1 interception.
He intentionally put that towards the ground because the Suet Cravens was in such a good position to make the play there. Suet didn't fall for it, but leveraged the blocking wide receiver very well there to disrupt the play.
Nice pull for Gordon. And Gordon is to the 10. So Michael Gordon flashing, and so 2 big offensive plays. First 2 of the night for Arkansas State.
This is the previous play with Seward. Cravens, you see him fighting the block. Coming back in, that was actually the last play.
And it's the first and goal now, just about the 9-yard line. Strong left set. And they try to run counter, and it'll be to the goal line and in for Michael Gordon and an Arkansas State touchdown.
So a new wrinkle for Arkansas State. 2 of the last 3 plays involved pulling a lineman and coming back against the grain, something they hadn't done. They do a nice job. Watch the pull. You're going to see a pull. He does a nice job coming up and breaking off of the insert of the. There's the one. There's the other lineman. That insert creates a problem because you've got 2 gaps. Whenever somebody pulls, you've got 2 new gaps. If you don't kick it on with the right side, you've got trouble.
And they tried a little funny play, and it's a failed conversion there. That was Cameron Burse. Michael Gordon getting Arkansas State's first points on the 9-yard touchdown run. Failed conversion attempt, which was one of Arkansas State reaching into their bag for a different play they were hoping to get 2 on. It failed. And so Arkansas State now will kick. USC is playing up. They've got 6 men across the front line, 3 men close, worried about a short kick. Instead, Luke Ferguson drives one. And Dominic Davis muffs it. That's into the field of play. He's got to pick that up. Wow. And Arkansas State smokes him at the 2-yard line. Tyler Trocine covered it. So that was the danger. Davis muffed the ball, but it came into the field of play. So he had to go live with it. Now, after that, let's go back and look at this failed 2-point attempt. Going the old swinging gate here.
Yeah, the old swinging gate, even sides, but you've got to be able to throw the ball. And unfortunately, they don't even get it out of his hands. Cameron Burse doesn't even get it out of his hands, just muffs it, just kind of does the old, where'd the ball go?
So that happened very quickly when there was a thought that they may review the run by Gordon to see if he was down before the end zone. So it's a failed 2-point play, and now USC's pinned to the 2-yard line. They did a nice job there. Trey Madden did a nice job of holding out Roland Jones, and that gave Kessler time on the roll to hit Smith-Schuster. This very thing Clay Helton talked to us about yesterday, Glenn, about Madden, is that not just a runner, but that his good hands out of the backfield and his blocking.
Yeah, and we've seen everything that they told us about him is actually proven to be true. Of course, we knew it. We'd seen him in league play before.
That's a good completion to get USC out of the shadow of their goal line. And trying to pick his way through, but can't. Trying to find that one little crease to hit. Rocky Hayes on the stop for Arkansas State.
One thing I'd like to see if I'm a USC fan, I'd like to see a little more downhill running. Not so much stretch to the tackle, but a little bit more between the tackle running.
Jaleel Pinner in motion. That's awesome. And he's wrapped up. Looked like he was lined up by Charleston Gurley there for a pretty good pop.
That drag route, he's there, but that just shows you the strength of Juju Smith-Schuster. Keep himself up, pushing forward. That's a strong young man.
You know, by listed weight, Smith-Schuster's 20 pounds heavier than Gurley. So it's still, though, a long third for USC. And stays in the block. And Kessler throws deep and overshoots Juju Smith-Schuster.
Wishes he probably put a little more air under that ball. You can deliver it to the same spot, but with a little more air, and allow Smith-Schuster to run under it. When it doesn't have the air, I don't care how that Smith-Schuster's not as fast as that ball. He's not gonna get there in time.
So Alvarado will punt, 4th punt of the night by USC. actually not Alvarado. That was a... There was wearing a different number, Alvarado. That was him punting. USC 28-6. It is never too soon to talk Heisman. This is living proof. Week 1, and the Nissan Heisman watch.
Well, you got to look at some of the guys. Cody Kessler, Trevon Boykin, TCU. You're looking at what they did last season. Deshaun Watson. These guys had big years last year. A lot is expected of them. But as you know, if you go into the season as the favorite, you're most likely not going to get it. Ask Andrew Luck.
That's a forward throw to Trocine, and incomplete. Now, last year was an exception, right, Mariota?
That's true. That was the one exception. But because he played well enough through the big games in the playoff to show, well, I shouldn't even say it, through all the big games of late November, he was there and fresh in people's minds.
There's Gordon running hard. Well, this is a much better dose we're seeing of Michael Gordon so far in the second half. Now their ball comes loose, and USC has it. Well, Gordon ran hard and so hard that the ball was taken, and Chris Hawkins out with it.
Love the way he's running, but again, you just can't. When you're Arkansas State in this game, you just can't have these mistakes. The penalties, the negative plays, and the turnovers are killing them. Does a nice job getting through there. Keeps fighting for yards. Got to protect that ball, and that was an incredible shot coming in from the side. Hard to see who it was, but
Jabari Ruffin, I believe.
Yeah, put their helmet right on that ball and knocked it loose.
You're right.
Great job by Ruffin.
Number 40, I believe. Let's see if this view gives us a better look. Boom, right there. Yep.
Yeah, Jabari Ruffin, he came in from the side, put his helmet right on that ball and knocked it out. And that's too bad. Gordon was has been having a very good game for what he's been asked to do. Hard runner.
All right, a good part of, or at least a good first night example here of the new and improved replay system with the 4 angles. That play was already looked at and the call confirmed, so no delay in play. Nice eluding there to turn what could have been a loss into the gain of a couple by Matt. The pace of play is something that a lot of people who really love this game, and I was speaking to Pat Hayden, the athletic director, about this very point yesterday. Pat cares enough about this game. He wants pace of play to be up, and he wants time of game to not get out of control, as it has been in recent years. Expediting the replay system is one of those important elements.
Timeout. USC. That's their first. Timeout on the field.
Called timeout here by USC. During our season here on Pac-12 Network, we're going to add a little action for you. Some of the great numbers and work of College Football Focus and Pro Football Focus both. Those are some measures of Kessler's accuracy last year. And that's where he ranks among Pac-12 quarterbacks. We'll be showing you things like that all year.
That's impressive. When pressured, 71%. That's a great number.
So on second down, comes out to Mitchell. It's going to be wrapped up short of a first. Clay Helton gave us one more number about Kessler yesterday, Glenn. He said to running backs last year, backs coming out of the backfield, Kessler was 89% and over 11 yards per completion.
Well, a lot of that obviously is that you're running screens, you're running things that are high percentage throws and getting them in a position to run with the ball, but it still means something that he's putting it on target. He's allowing them to run the ball after they catch it.
So a short third for USC. They do protect here, but Kessler's going to overthrow, or at least his receiver can't get to the ball more accurately. Christian Tober, junior from San Clemente, one of those players who achieved a dream just beyond him. Walk-on player no longer.
It was a really nice replayed slow-mo shot, wasn't it? Why is football the game that you put in slow motion and becomes ballet?
Exactly. Well, thankfully, Ed Sable and his son Steve figured that out about 50 years ago. And the greatest sales tool for the game of football, I think, in our lifetime.
I would agree with you. As a young man, always dying for the highlights in slow motion.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
USC giving Chris Alvarado a couple of extra yards here. They take a delay. Chris Murray, the return man for Arkansas State. They came in. Arkansas State took a run at that punt, and therefore Murray wisely calls for the fair catch. Well, on Thursday, Steve Sarkisian, in the midst of a team meeting, dropped a couple of very special surprises.
Do your job. So Woody, when we go left, deep left, I want you to kick it left, deep left. You understand me? Because you're on scholarship, buddy. Our red zone efficiency is critical, okay? This guy's going to score a touchdown because he's on scholarship too. Christian Tober.
Kicker Alex Wood was the first player, and then Christian Tober, the wide receiver, the second player, as Gordon gets the first down carry here. And Glenn, as you lived it as a player, the great part of that, not that they're on scholarships, the great part of that is to see the reaction of their teammates.
Absolutely. It never gets old watching it, and there the two young men are, but it's the reaction of the teammates, because the teammates know how much hard work they put in. They know every day those guys are working their tail off alongside of you, and they're doing it out of their own pocket. They're not going to training table. They're not getting the benefits that you get of getting that scholarship. That's why the teammates respond the way they do, because of that work those guys put in.
And I'm sure the families of those young men are saying, what are you talking about? We're darn right they're on scholarship. We're happy. but really, when you watch that, that's the part of this, is how happy everybody else, their peers, are for them. Short third down coming here for the Red Wolves. Tight stack to the left, and Knight's going to try to run behind him, and he does get enough. He just used his numbers there to set up a little wall, and it's an Arkansas State first.
This second half so far, I've loved what Arkansas State has done, running the ball, the concepts they've used. I like how aggressive and how attacking they've become. They've gone deep with the ball. They've brought out a lot of different things that haven't been seen yet.
Knighton has 57 yards rushing. He's the leading rusher for Arkansas State. Has not had the productive pass night he would like, as he fires that one away. Just 8 out of 22 passing for 86 yards, and almost half the yards coming on the one throw early in this third quarter to Trez Houston. This is a team that in the nation last year was top 20 for points and total offense. They scored. Last year, Arkansas State averaged 36.7 points a game.
Well, they've got a multiple offense, tons of tricks. They've got some talent. Their offensive line is, for the most part, protected pretty darn well. It's just a matter of being up against, as you know, a little more speed, a little more size, and just more talent across the board than they're used to seeing. And for all that, though, they've really done some good things.
They need the 41-yard line, and instead, Sua Cravens is heading to the end zone. Won't get there. Piled up and driven out of bounds near the 5. Sua Cravens.
What's incredible about this is the speed at which he had to see this ball pop up and catch it. It's incredible reaction time from Sua Cravens, having his eye on the receiver and the ball, quarterback with the ball at the same time. He's coming up to make a tackle and realizes he's got the ball.
Just off Trocin's hand, and then Sua Cravens with his 8th career interception. Third turnover tonight by Arkansas State. The Trojans have not given up the football. And now Madden trying to reverse his field. And can't. Good defense there, hanging in for Arkansas State. Justin Clifton.
Might be the first bad thing we've seen Trey Madden do. And he gets back to that center point. He has to take a page out of Marcus Allen book. He has to turn north, go vertical, and get 1 or 2. Not try to make a huge play by going outside.
4 receivers, tight end McNamara's tight to the left. And Madden's wide open. Well-designed play and a walk-in touchdown for Trey Madden.
Trey Madden showing his hands out of the backfield. Talk about his ability to read blocks, his patient. Here he is out of the backfield. Wide open, as you said, and those are sometimes the hardest catches to make. He does so and gets himself the score.
So Madden scores his 2nd touchdown tonight. It is the 4th touchdown thrown by Kessler. Whoa! Let's see, the ball's live, but there are flags down. Obviously, the player was slightly offside. This is being run back as if it were a live ball. They didn't stop the play, but it will come back. Arkansas State's, that's Darius Rosser who ran it, but the player was Quantario Heath, who was trying to time and leap the center. Didn't work.
Any bets that Rosser goes over and gets oxygen?
There are 4. Yeah, exactly. There are 4 flags down on the field. 4 yellow hankies laying down on the field inside the 5.
Offsides defense. Half the distance to the goal. Retry.
Did you need to have a conversation for that?
I know. He beat the ball back there.
It's a first game, first week for all of us, we know. So.
Lucky that someone didn't get hurt.
Glenn, am I right in that he can leap the center like that as long as he doesn't touch another one of his players, and he has to land on his feet, right?
That's correct. Yeah, he can't vault off of anybody.
Can't vault off a teammate, and he has to land on, I believe, has to land on his feet. Is that correct?
I think so. Can't land on an opposing player either.
Right. All right, so there's Heath again, right back in the middle. See, he tries the same thing. He's going to get flagged there for he went up on a player that time, I believe. He goes up on his own player. Yeah, I think the official's telling him that. Dude, you can't do that. This, I believe, will be enforced on the kickoff.
Yeah, personal foul being enforced on the kickoff.
Well, let's get the call from Mike Battler.
Personal foul. Leaping on the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
Young Quantario Heath was 0 for 2 there.
Well, Trojans getting things done. Sua Cravens, incredible reaction time to come up with this interception. Gets himself a score, and that, of course, led to Trey Madden out of the backfield for a touchdown. Trojans rolling 35-6.
All right, Mike, again, a great football Saturday here in the Southland. The day game in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. The night game here at the Coliseum, just on the fringe of downtown. And looks to be a very good Saturday for Southern California. A wonderful introduction for a freshman quarterback, as Mike just told you about. A lot of freshmen playing for USC tonight, but they've got a very experienced quarterback. Warren Wand on the carry and John Plattenberg on the tackle. The one defensive position yesterday that we heard from Justin Wilcox, it was a little bit, still had some competition going, was the safeties for USC.
Yeah, and of course Plattenberg and Hawkins started the evening, but they said, the way he talked about it, it's still kind of an open competition. See who's going to play themselves into a starting role.
Michael Gordon, the running back. He's run out of bounds by Augustin. And if you look at the USC deep, 2 and 3 deep, there are 8 freshmen, 8 first-year freshmen, which is what a freshman is. And
that's a lot of fresh faces on that defense.
Meaning, like, this is their first time. They've been in the Coliseum in a uniform. Never understood the term true freshman. I thought that was Josh Rosen's first name today when I heard that. For 3 hours.
Well, it's said enough.
Never understood. Is there a false freshman?
Well, I was a false freshman, but that was a whole different story.
And Luke Ferguson's 7th punt coming. Adoree Jackson, if you've joined us a little bit later after dark, Adoree Jackson, hip strain first half, running back a punt and is not returned. Steve Sarkisian telling Joe halftime protective, very sensibly so.
You've got a long season. You got to protect these guys.
Christian Tober on the fair catch there. All right, there's Rosen. 3 touchdowns today.
Amazing day. He was special today, that's for sure. And of course, Stanford losing to Northwestern. That I think was quite the upset.
That was. I think a lot of people, especially the fact Stanford didn't score a touchdown. You can see how few the points are. And of course, a little Latin to spice up your Saturday late night, but not so much fun for Arizona State as Bercovici saw a lot of Texas A&M. Man, they have some bits of the game we could see, Glenn, before we got here. They have some pass rushers. Wow.
Yeah, they do. But you know, that score is not really indicative of that game. That game was very, very close into the 4th quarter.
And Ronald Jones here on the carry for USC. We're talking about the defense, all the freshmen. 6 on the offensive depth chart for USC. 3 of them are running backs behind Trey Madden. It's Jalen Green. Well, Jalen Green's getting into the game tonight. He's caught the ball and he's thrown the ball. 2 catches and a completed pass.
And that was a beautiful pass. That's a pass that is not going to get rated high because it didn't go for a long gain, but it was absolutely beautifully thrown.
And Kessler using the wide side of the field and really buying time before he finds Isaac Whitney.
Yeah, Chris Stone is after him. And Chris Stone's going to get a hit on him. This is a naked again. Stone coming up, and Kessler does a nice job of backing away, give himself a chance to throw and find and make a nice throw. But he takes a couple lumps for his effort.
Big space, gone. Ronald Jones. First USC touchdown. Ronald Jones from McKinney, Texas.
You saw the burst. You know, you've got big bodies in front of you, but when he gets such a hole, nobody lays a hand on him. Let's take a look at this blocking. You're going to see big fellas out front. Lobodon, 60, gets out and just starts smashing 2 and finishes. That is exact type of play you're looking for out of your offensive line. That's a big man, Toa Lobodon, gets himself running. And actually, I believe that was Vianney Talamaivu. I think he was in. Pardon me. And he gets his big body out there and absolutely smashes folks. That makes me excited. Seeing an offensive lineman, second level, taking 2 DBs, throwing them around, and springing a running back for a huge gain and a touchdown.
And the expected contrast in sidelines. USC, so many first game players tonight are getting part of action, and for Ronald Jones a highlight. And Arkansas State, of course, making this long trip. Flying here yesterday from Memphis. They'll head back home right after the game, get in wee hours tomorrow morning.
Take a look at your right guard, number 60. Vianney Talamaivu. He just starts blocking folks and just driving everybody back.
And he's not even a starter.
That is a beast of a block. And you know, it's beautiful when you see the running back and he gets outside and he's gone. But that's all made possible because you have a wide receiver and a guard going the extra mile and getting their hands inside and driving somebody and helping you out.
If they could incorporate the basketball sixth man award, that would be Talamaivo. He's the sixth man on that O-line.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's a guy, he'll play a lot. He comes in a lot. He's just a beast of a person. 220 pounds, sophomore, just smashes people.
Kissick on the return of the kick for Arkansas State. Let's go back down to the field, check in with Jill.
I'll tell you that touchdown put a smile on Stephen Mitchell's face, but he is out with a left wrist injury. He was attended by medical staff earlier in the first half. They were looking at that same left wrist, but it is now iced, and he appears to be done for the night. And Ted, you know, he's had a career riddled with injuries here at USC. A knee injury kept him sidelined his freshman season. The groin injury kept him out last year. You mentioned it earlier. Clay Helton was so excited to get his new toy back, and his night is cut early.
All right, well, he's such a speed guy that if you're going to have a little bang for him, to probably have it's not the legs.
Absolutely, a risk, you know, for a receiver. Hopefully he gets that back soon. Got a new quarterback for Arkansas State, James Tabbery.
James Tabbery from New Orleans actually did get on the field briefly last year through 2 passes for Arkansas State, but was granted a redshirt. So he is a redshirt second-year program.
That's the way to do it. Get him some experience. You're down big.
And that's Johnston White on the carry. Arkansas State have another big opponent next week at home. They got Missouri coming to Jonesboro.
Kind of a battle of the Ozark states right there. Missouri coming all the way down in their area.
Slams it off the left side. I think it's easily understood that as they're still throwing over there. Wonder when, oh, there's Max Brown. All right, that's what I would assume we're going to see is Max Brown start to get ready. Open man, Griswold. There's a big pass play for Arkansas State down to near the USC 20. Darian Griswold, senior from Dumas, Arkansas.
Yeah, big, tall guy. He's been blocking really well and fighting his butt off all day, and he gets rewarded here by getting a nice pass thrown to him. And I like the way Tabbery stands in, knows there's pressure, follows through, and gets it out there to him.
It's a 40-yard play. Longest of the night for Arkansas State. Tabbery swings it out to Gordon. Gordon, nice job. Elude tacklers and dance down the sideline for another first.
I have no doubt, when you look at the amount of yards that Gordon had last year, it's easy to see, with 1,100 yards, it's easy to see him getting even more this year. He's a special type running back.
Tabbery pulls it back and then the pass is tipped. The interesting part of this kind of scenario, Glenn, I don't know enough about Arkansas State to know, do they run the same offense? Knight has such great run abilities. Do they run the same thing, or do you have to have a different set of plays when you bring your second quarterback in?
It appears they're running the same style of offense, maybe just changing some of the calls to allow him to shine within what they're asking him to do. Right there, there was a missed opportunity. He had a man open, a big body in the end zone. He just has to put it on him, and it's a touchdown.
John Pascal is the receiver at the bottom against Jonathan Lockett. And up here goes to Johnston White. He's down inside the 10. Greg Townsend on the USC tackle.
And you like what they did there. All right, second down, get yourself some yards. You still got 2 downs to get a first down inside without scoring. And you know that has to be in their thought process.
There you see the first down line at the 2. Final minute of the third quarter. Different play shouted in. Taberry goes up under center. Going to have to snap this ball quickly. He's not going to get it off. Timeout taken by Blake Anderson. So the late change of play, and Taberry couldn't get things organized in time.
That's their second.
So an Arkansas State timeout.
You know, at this point, it's interesting. The dynamic changes a little bit. Your coach, the new quarterback. You know, you're trying to help your team out as much as possible. So you really have to temper how you attack this new quarterback in these teaching moments.
You know, you think, Glenn, as you see this current drive for Arkansas State, I mean, in a state like Arkansas, it's easily understood that it is all things Razorbacks at all times. And so here's the second school, a state school, but they're trying, as we referenced in the first half, they're trying to build a brand for themselves. And sometimes it takes coming out here to play a game like this.
And I think they've succeeded. There's a real knowledge of who they are within the college football landscape. They probably wasn't there 5-10 years ago.
Cameron Smith playing a lot in his first night at the Coliseum as a Trojan. Smacks the runner down. And of course, the realities of college athletics hit home too. Arkansas State gets a very nice compensation check for being here, which is going to help, I assume, helps a lot in their athletic department.
Certainly. You know, when you're looking at through their material, some of the things they're doing facility-wise, impressive.
All right, Anderson's going to have the quarter break here to dial up a fourth down play. USC ready to start the 2015 season. Still running, and he's gone! Touchdown! And Trey Madden's going to get 6. Sua Cravens with his 8th career interception.
What's incredible about this is the speed at which he had to see this ball pop up and catch it.
The explosive plays, what you'd expect for the Trojans. And it has been that kind of night in Los Angeles as we wind down a wonderful Saturday, the first Saturday of college football on Pac-12 Network. It's all brought to you by Bank of the West. It started early today on our network with a surprise in Pullman. Portland State, first game for a brand new head coach, and they put together a stunning second half to steal one from Washington State. Now the fourth down play, Taberry running an option, and again Cameron Smith is there. So USC will take over on downs.
That was an odd choice for a fourth down play at that spot and at that distance. And you know, just from watching Taberry, doesn't appear to be the fleetest of foot. I mean, he's obviously good enough, fast enough and fleet enough to run this offense, but you would think they would have given themselves maybe a better opportunity. That might be the conversation they're having there right there. Maybe we should have. I have a feeling they're going to be very successful within their conference zone.
All right, so Max Brown takes over the quarterback in the fourth quarter for the Trojans. Play action roll, dumps one nicely to Davis, and Davis really cashing in, running that all the way out to the 40. And if you start looking ahead for USC, you've seen between Dominic Davis and Ronald Jones, 2 freshman runners of promise tonight. Third freshman we have not seen yet, which is Aka Cedric Ware.
Well, you mentioned all the freshmen, and you know, of course, our boards, Sam Polis makes our boards for us, are color-coded, and the freshmen are in green. And I don't know the last time I've seen a team that's this good have this many spots of green all over the spotting board. A lot of true freshmen out there playing.
Broken up incomplete. Juan Hampton intended. So you have really what we've seen today in Southern California strikes me, Glenn. You have UCLA, which has an amazing returning catch. We understand that. They've had to plug a brand new quarterback in. Obviously, that's an easier situation for a new guy to go into. He's surrounded by a wonderful group of players, and they looked terrific today. Here you have a lot of new players. They're all clearly talented, at least the ones we've seen tonight.
Yeah, and it's can we get them on the same page and playing it all together.
Yes. And you know, how fast do they grow up football-wise? How fast do they grow up? Because they have a core of experience around them, not as much as a UCLA, I would think, right?
No, yeah, I think so. I think you're correct.
But they've got some experience there, and of course you've got an anchor quarterback.
A really good quarterback. Different than Rosen. You know, they're both drop back style. They can deliver the ball, but different play. Right now, I think the biggest difference I see just early on is the offensive line play. USC running the ball does well, but hasn't protected as well as they should.
Very fair catch. Taken by Chris Murray for Arkansas State. Back inside their 15. Strong opening night for the Trojans. Trey Madden, 106 yards rushing and a touchdown. Also has caught a touchdown pass that play. In the second half, part of the USC night. Been a big play night for the Trojans. They've only run 55 total plays, but they've had explosive plays and 6 touchdowns.
Big chunks of yardage, both on the ground and through the air. Exactly what you would want out of your offense if you're a Trojan fan.
It's one of those nights where you're going to... Likely the final sheet is going to show Arkansas State running more plays. They've now run 11 more. And they actually have 4 fewer first downs, Arkansas State, but they haven't had nearly the big plays.
Right. They've really struggled to string plays together. They're having more plays, but it's not the same.
It's their second quarterback, James Tattery, continuing on. Most action he's had at Arkansas State. And delivers that pass to Booker Mays.
Although I would say this, their second half, they've been much better. Arkansas State had issues in the first half consistency-wise, plus shooting themselves in the foot. The second half, they've been much, much more productive.
Missing at the near side, dropped by Jonathan Lockett. Juan gets outside. The idea that young man could have some impact playing in the Sun Belt against that competition. He is going to have a chance to really get himself in space.
Yeah, you can see he's explosive, and he understands where he wants to go with the ball. It's interesting to me, as we got an injured player on the field for USC. It looks like Uchenna Nwosu.
Yeah, there he is. Sophomore from Carson. Nwosu being attended. Yeah, you stop and think, and I'm watching Blake Anderson. We're seeing his reactions tonight, how hard he's trying to build a program there, Glenn. You start to think, especially, Hugh Freeze was the coach there for a year, and football fans remember him from The Blind Side and his connection to Michael Orr in high school. But it was Gus Malzahn, who is regarded as this innovative offensive guy. And if Gus Malzahn had stayed, if Arkansas State had been able to have him stay there for a while rather than Auburn coming and enticing, with that momentum, what that program could have been, what this program could have been.
Yeah, and you know what? Watching this offense, while not the same as Auburn's, it is every bit as innovative. It's they're doing a lot of different things and a lot of different concepts. They've moved the ball, as you said. They've had a lot of plays. They've moved the ball. They've kind of shot themselves in the foot.
There's that 3 straight years, one-year coaches. There's Harsin, who went back to Boise State when Chris Peterson went to UW. But Blake Anderson didn't miss a beat on offense last year. They played at a very high level of offense. Osu able to walk off the field, but he'll likely take a seat for the rest of this fourth quarter. Arkansas State has a first down. Good. Flash up and stop. It's Matt Lopes. Palos Verdes.
Yeah, he comes up from the safety spot. You know, this play's being strung out. It'll come off to the bottom of your screen. As it's being strung out, he does a nice job of coming and getting that upfield leg, cutting across, taking him down. It's a great play from the safety spot.
And now the safeties are Lopes and then another freshman, Marvell Tell from Pasadena. See him at the top of the Trojans script in the middle of the field. Pascal with the catch there, Hawkins the tackle. So that, I believe, all 8 of those freshmen that we referenced tonight, first games on defense, all 8 have played for USC. There's Marvell Tell.
Obviously, Steve Sarkisian wanted to get him in, get him some experience. He's done that. The more plays under the belt you can get him, the deeper your roster becomes as the year progresses.
That's a live ball. That's a live ball. That was a backwards throw. There's a flag down. This is a live ball for the moment and a touchdown for USC. A mistake you so often see players make. It's not an incomplete forward pass. That was a lateral backwards throw. Let's see what the flag is.
Personal foul, chop block, number 70 and 71 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, remains third down.
I think he might have made a mistake.
Well, they did not call this an incomplete pass.
Left side.
No whistles.
Left side of your line, one on the ground, other guy takes him high.
Touchdown, yes. There was no whistle thrown. It was a live football, and Osa Messina, the freshman from Salt Lake City, was alert, picks that ball up and runs it 46 yards for a USC touchdown. It amazes me how often, when every year we say that, the players don't react to what, even if there's any doubt in your mind, cover the ball. Right? It could be a live ball.
Absolutely. And the thing that they don't do is, anytime the ball is on the ground, assume it's a fumble. You must. You have to.
So what? I think everybody's waiting to see if there is. Nope, there's no. There should have been enough time for Bill Richardson up here to review it. He has. I don't think there's any question. It was not a forward pass. At that point, after attempt by Wood is blocked.
So often you'll hear me say about perfect wins, and this is one of those perfect wins. Enough has gone wrong, and there's the play. It is a lateral, and enough people were alert. Osa Messina, touchdown for the Trojans.
Well, wonderful debut for Osa Messina. He didn't expect to come here tonight and score a touchdown, and he did, picking up that free ball and running it back for a USC score. Extra point attempt failed, and kickoff here by USC out the back of the end zone. So let's go back down and check beyond the hash marks again with Jill.
Well, thank you, Ted. Now, Los Angeles hosted the Special Olympics this summer, and the Trojans, well, they wanted to do something of their own, and that's where we get the Trojan Olympics. Now, each player chose one kid to sponsor, but in Cody Kessler's case, Chuka had a twin brother named Chuma, and one wouldn't go anywhere without the other, so he had 2 kids. Now, Cody said, we did it all. Football, baseball, soccer, you name it, we did it, and we probably had more fun than the kids. Now, the kids love their time with the Trojans, but Kessler said for him and his teammates, it's important to look beyond football. That the type of person you become lasts forever, while football will fade away. And I should say that he is going to try and get Chuka and Chuma tickets to the Idaho game. We'll be here for that, so we'll try and follow up on the story.
All right, Jill, thank you. As ball's given to Warren Wand here by Arkansas State. It is impossible to connect with Special Olympians. And of course, the Special Olympics opening ceremonies were held here at the end of July, but it's impossible to be exposed to that and not have a massive bond.
I agree. They're just a phenomenal group and event.
Nice shift of position there and run up the sideline by Trez Houston. Long catch, a 41-yard catch in the first half. This one's more of a run, but pushing it up near midfield.
Again, Arkansas State doing some good things. They just haven't been able to string enough together to be any threat to USC. They're probably going to take a lot away from this game that they did well. Be interesting to follow them throughout the year, see how well they do within their conference, and you know they're going to be putting up some good numbers.
I'd say tonight, Glenn, this young man looks to me like the guy with the hands, J.D. McKissick.
No doubt, you beat me to it because he has made some incredible catches. Knew he was going to get hit, bobbling behind him, everything. That guy keeps coming up with the ball.
And again, not a big guy. It's his 5th catch tonight in Phoenix City, Alabama. They've got 6 yards for Arkansas State.
Phoenix City, Alabama seems like maybe an overly optimistic name for a town when you form it.
Johnston White takes it down inside the 40. It's Phoenix without the O, so there's no confusion between Alabama and Arizona. But what it means, we've said the hometowns of a fair number of the Arkansas State players tonight, and they're all from football country.
Yeah, all
it's Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Alabama. I mean, they're all from places where they've grown up with football.
Yeah, they're all from the Delta or down south, and having been down in that part of that country a long time and played with so many guys, and these kids, they come to fight. And I think the coach, they're going to have. Their coach said they were going to do. They're going to be physical. They've done a lot of that. When you sack Cody Kessler 5+ times, you've done something right.
That's one of their positive takeaways tonight. Maybe the biggest one is that the pressure they put on Kessler in the first half. Well, that skipped off the hands of Trocine, and then the carom went off.
That's just an awkward pass to make because of the way your receiver's running away from you. It's tough. You got to put it on his backfield shoulder in order for him to catch it and run, and the backfield shoulder almost becomes a lateral again. It's a really awkward design in that play.
Leon McQuay had the ball skim by him after it flipped Trocine. So Tabaré on 3rd down. And that ball, receiver went out of bounds on the coverage by Iman Marshall. Saw the official's hat come flying off, receiver out of bounds, therefore could not catch the ball. All right, so we've got Mike Yam and our group ready with the final score right after our game, recapping Vernon Adams' debut for Oregon. The big challenge Arizona State took on to travel to Houston to play Texas A&M.
It's a neutral site, man.
Yes, that's an incomplete pass. The laughable about that is, did you ever think we'd live to see Houston be called SEC country? When did that happen? 7.5 to go. This year, the 100th year of this great conference, USC football stands at the top in terms of tradition. Any athletic program of the member institutions of this conference. There's something about seeing Ronnie Lott there. We, saw Ronnie at about 10:30 this morning on our air. Ronnie looked okay for 10:30 in the morning. Man, he could hit. Gosh.
Yeah, special player. Yeah, that's for certain. Special player at all levels, and more importantly, when the person he was on the field, on the sidelines, in the locker room. That's what people talk more about that played with him than even his physical play.
And still living near Ronnie, I get a chance to see him, and I've been involved in some events. To hear Ronnie Lott speak is a powerful, and that's an understatement, powerful experience. Wonderful catch there by Daquan Hampton. That's a nice throw by Max Brown.
Another 6'4", 220 receiver out here. This ball by Max Brown is laid out. The thing is, the high point by Daquan Hampton, going over the DB to get it and being able to maintain possession as he's fighting for it. It's a great job by Daquan Hampton.
Right, so that pushing the ball into Arkansas State territory. This is Aka Cedric White, the third freshman running back. Excuse me, Aka Cedric Ware from DeSoto, Texas, getting his first opportunity. That's a second carry.
Another true freshman. They're loaded with
three. I was going to say, I mean, this is going to be some interesting competition unfold after this year. You still have Justin Davis here, too. Now, Justin Davis not playing tonight. They call him Said, so we'll say Said Ware. Have properly introduced him with his birth name. And that's today's age, it's no secret. You know, one of the challenges for Steve Sarkisian will be finding out, is there going to be enough carries for all these guys, these talented guys.
And you know, the thing is, that, as you said, the challenge today, because so many kids now want to be the man. They don't want to have patience and wait their turn, you know, and wait to grow. I mean, could you imagine what would have happened had Marcus Allen not wanted to wait his turn behind Charles White? He would have never had the seasons he had. USC would never have had a Marcus Allen.
Like down here on the carry by Said Ware.
Personal foul, face mask, number 57 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
And you look the other night, Thursday night, first night of football, and former Trojan quarterback Max Whittick, who's gone now to reconnect with Norm Chow, former Trojan coach at Hawaii, and they defeated Colorado in the first game, and Max Whittick played very well.
Yeah, he did. And that was a good win for that program. You know, taking on a tough task, Colorado, going out there to play. You know, the start time of that game was so late for them. Had to, you know, no excuses, but it really had to have some effect on those players.
Ooh, broken up just before Jalen Green could secure that ball. Contested by Brandon Biner.
That's a good play all the way around. Ball's just got to be delivered a little beyond that point to allow the high point of the receiver to get it. Now he's got Daquan Hampton with a very small DB on him at the bottom of your screen.
So Ware drives that one down inside the 10. Max Brown came close on that previous play to his first USC touchdown pass. Looking to see if hard at 48-6 to throw it to the end zone. Let's see if the Trojans think that way.
Again, Daquan Hampton. They're just going to keep pounding the ball.
And they pound it right into the end zone. So there's a first USC touchdown for Said Ware.
Watch the movement by the right side. And again, I'll point out Leone Talamaivu, number 60, the right guard, absolutely dominating and finishing him in. You'll see him right there, just pushing people back. That's a great job by that line.
All three freshman running backs have played, have contributed for the Trojans tonight. Two have scored touchdowns, Ronald Jones and now Aka Cedric Ware. And so USC's up to 55 tonight, 8 Trojan touchdowns. You know, in this conference, Arizona opened with a win Thursday night. Now they will find out whether they can weather the loss of Scooby Wright for how long. That's the stunner today. Stanford not scoring a touchdown at Northwestern. ASU taking on a tough one. UCLA, USC both winning at home, as did Oregon, displaying another expected offensive explosion. So I take away from weekend one here, the top teams, expected top teams, have shown that for the most part. The one surprise would be Stanford, and that's a disappointment. Washington State losing at home today is also a disappointment.
And I would also say ASU losing to Texas A&M. Now,
do you think, even though
they weren't favored, that's for certain, but they were a ranked team. And I think many people thought that they would beat Texas A&M. Of course, there's the whole interconference play thing. So I would say I would call it a disappointment.
Okay.
I was certainly
Todd Graham would agree with you, I'm sure.
I was certainly rooting for the Sun Devils to win that game.
James Tolan on that kick return, but let's look back at Staff. But this is his Red Vines sweet moment.
Absolutely love the way he can deliver that ball falling down to Isaac Whitney. Whitney does a nice job of running after the catch, but the fact that Kessler being tackled, avoiding that rush just enough, and still having the strength and accuracy and to throw that ball, that was a sweet moment.
James Taberry continues in. New running back gets the handoff here for Arkansas State. This is Logan Moraine. Logan Moraine is a freshman from Little Rock, and actually, I'm sorry, this is a third quarterback now. Cameron Burse, he was the holder on the swinging gate attempt that didn't work earlier, and this is a rarity because Cameron Burse is from the Bay Area, Danville, California. You wonder how much Ramon Valley High School, that's close to Sean Mannion's territory.
You wonder if they'll allow him to throw, considering that's that two-pointer thing.
So looking up at Jeff Lockie, the Oregon quarterback, also right there in that same area. Well, I would say, to finish up on your Arizona State point, Glenn, the good part for the Pac-12 was that schools, and clearly you want to be in a state to do that, that Todd Graham felt confident enough in his team to take on that challenge of a game. Oregon next week has to pay its return game. They go to Michigan State.
Absolutely. Utah playing Michigan, Oregon State playing
exactly.
Michigan.
Utah,
I like
right.
big boys playing big boys. I like it. It's good for college football. It's good for this conference. I do not like the real easy games.
Cal, which we haven't talked about because they had a clear mismatch game today on that pass to Warren Wan, but Cal is a good home non-conference next week with San Diego State. That they go play at Texas. Now, Texas got hammered tonight playing Notre Dame. You're still talking about going to play at Austin. But with Jared Goff, that's going to be a heck of an opportunity for Cal.
You know, and here's the thing. Regardless if a program is up or down, if it's a Power 5 conference and you're playing Power 5 conference teams, that's a good schedule. Because when you make the schedules far enough out in advance, you don't know whether that team is going to be great that year or bad that year. The fact you schedule other Power 5 conferences, big boys, that's what you want to see. I like that.
Tackle for a loss. Warren Wan is tackled for a loss. You know, this week, here's a little side note given the late nature of this game. There were 30 women around the country who were nominated to be the 2015 NCAA Woman of the Year. 2 of them from Pac-12 schools. Margot Geer, who was a fabulous swimmer at Arizona. She just competed in the World Championships last month. And Zoe Scandalis, tennis player here at USC. Both of them were brilliant students. Zoe Scandalis, at one point, Pat Hayden was encouraging her to apply for a Rhodes Scholarship.
What would he know about that?
Yeah, exactly. And both immense contributors in the community. Zoe Scandalis tutored young 7th and 8th grade students just blocks away here from the USC campus. And really, at some point, it's nice for all of us to remind ourselves that there are people that have the incredibly broad scope, that it's athletics and student life and contributing.
And how big that award is. That's the one thing to look at, how big that award is that they won that. And good for them. That's very special.
Both still competing. Zoe Scandalis right now is in Germany. Richard Gallion, the longtime women's tennis coach here, I saw him yesterday. He told me she's playing some AA level professional tournaments to see if she can keep playing on the professional level. Margot Gear still competing, said at the World Championships last month.
She's a Wildcat. Bear down.
All right, don't forget, Pac-12 final score comes up in 40 seconds. And a full recap of this first full Saturday.
Well, it's not what Coach Anderson wanted, obviously, but I would say he has a lot to work with. I think he's going to look back and say, hey, we came out, we competed, we got after people. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. You got to know that, and they know it, and he'll get back to coaching. I think he's done a really good job bringing his team out here and have them physically and mentally prepared to play.
+4 night in the turnover game for USC. +4. No turnovers by the Trojans. 2 fumbles lost by Arkansas State and 2 interceptions. All right, so this will be a turnover on downs to USC.
Oh, there I am. Taking pictures, taking a little video of all the Heismans for my son so he can see them.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And your son, who was a baseball standout, right? Here we are,
he's a baseball
the first
player.
Football season.
I don't know about a standout.
Well, I know he's 8th grade, so we don't want to get carried away.
But he likes his baseball. He loves football, but I won't let him play just yet.
But there will be a day, right?
Certainly. You got to remember.
He has to like it.
Well, he's dying to, but I didn't play till I was 20, so I'm making sure that he can wait a little bit and get to be where he wants to be.
You did okay, Glenn.
I managed.
Yeah. All right, USC completes its opening night with no drama. Cody Kessler throws 4 touchdown passes tonight. He was 19 of 26 for 236. And let's hear from Steve Sarkisian now with Jill.
Thanks so much, Ted. Coach, you talked about it yesterday. You wanted to see turnovers from your defense. Not only did they turn it over, but they took it to the house.
Yeah, we really did. I think, what was it, 4-0 in the turnover margin, and we took care of it offensively, Jill, which was another positive for us.
So many freshmen out there for you tonight. What kind of impact did they have?
Well, it was good for them. We had some growing pains. We made some mistakes, but we knew that coming in, and we knew that this game, we were just going to throw these guys out there, and we had to keep playing them and not get scared out of it because they made a mistake or two along the way. But I thought our young players got better as the game went on.
And tonight, in your new role, not calling plays, you said you're probably going to be looking at the play sheet a couple times, just getting back into it. Clay Helton told us he knows how much you love doing it. How was that transition for you tonight?
I snuck a couple peeks at the call sheet, but it was great. I felt a lot more involved on special teams. I felt a lot more involved defensively, substitution-wise. I was still, involved offensively. So all in all, it was a good first game for me. I'm going to go back and analyze it as we will as a staff, and we're going to try to get better.
Congratulations on the victory.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Ted, back to you.
All right, very happy Steve Sarkisian, as you would expect. A calm night, and as I think he was very clear and pointed in saying he got a whole lot of new people into the game, and they produced.
They were explosive. I think a perfect win for them. Enough mistakes to coach, but a big win all the same.
You got to hope Adoree Jackson's okay. Got banged up returning a punt in the first quarter. Thanks to our entire team. For Glenn and Jill, I'm Ted. We'll continue with more. The Pac-12 final score is next.